Who would be the most presidential athlete right now, today, July 3rd, 2024? Say a certain someone decides to not run for president.
Yeah, define presidential for me here, Paul.
Who, of all the athletes, would actually pick up a decent amount of votes, say they were to replace a certain someone who might be thinking twice
About running?
after a struggle of a performance on national TV?
The most presidential. I mean, I think you need to be able to galvanize the country. You need support of men, of women. They need to know that you're hardworking, grit and grind. Jason Kelce.
No.
He's got the Swifties.
No.
He's got the beer chugging. That's my president.
Jason Kelce, not
I
even
can-
Taylor, not even Travis
Nah,
Kelce.
Travis is too stuck up, I could tell.
Too clownish.
Too clownish.
I think Jason Kelsey's kind of clownish. Jason Kelsey's going to these press boxes, taking his shirt off, and getting
What's more American than that?
Man of
blitzed.
the people.
He is a man of the
He
people.
connects to the common man.
What's more American than taking your shirt off and chugging a beer when it's snowing outside? Chugging a beer out of a bowling ball.
But taking the shirt off
taking,
is generally unnecessary
You're right.
in that spot. As someone who likes to take your shirt off from time to time unnecessarily, it's still unnecessary there.
I just like that's my president. Jason
Okay,
Kelce.
Jason Kelce, interesting.
Paul?
Yeah, it needs to be somebody who's got money. It needs to be somebody who's hot. It needs to be somebody who's witty.
You want your president to be hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want my president to be some old person. No offense to
I
all
was
the
gonna
elderly
ask,
out there.
How many hot presidents of the 46? How many of them have been hot?
I think JFK was considered hot. I don't know.
Okay.
He was
So we're
young.
starting 60 years ago.
I think the big thing is like a lot of them, a lot of presidents have been older, so generally that's not the first thing that comes to mind.
but for you, it's the first thing that comes to
Tom
mind.
Brady, baby, give me Tom Brady. Put Brady in there right now. Put him in right now. He's going to say all the right things. You saw his speech when he got inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. You saw how he handled himself at the roast. This is a person who can publicly speak and who is going to work very hard to be the best public speaker possible. That's all you need to do.
My concern about Tom Brady, the president, is what happened after the roast.
Yeah.
Is that he knew what the roast was, and then he had all this regret afterwards.
Yeah, because he wants everyone to understand that he has a human side to him. It's
But
very smart to get that out there.
If Tom runs for president, I don't want him on like day 2 of being the president of the United States to be like, guys, this is not what I thought the job was.
I don't think he'd do that.
This is what my concern is.
I don't think he'd do that.
Because he seemed unsure.
He was not concerned about what happened to him. He was concerned about what happened to his family. And
It does make him a good family man.
He's a great family.
I give him that.
He is our father, in
All right,
fact.
we're gonna Men in Black little button here. Pretend that Tom Brady doesn't exist.
Okay.
Give me a different answer.
I'm moving to Canada.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
that's the wrong. I was gonna go to unite.
Probably burned down after Canada Day resulted in a Blue Jays loss.
Can I unite us for a second here? A man that is known for taking things that are terrible
Okay.
and making them great. A man that changed an entire sport, maybe not for the good, according to some people. Theo
Epstein?
Epstein for president?
No.
I thought you were going to say Jeff Luno.
No one knows who he is.
I thought you were going to say Jeff Luno.
No. And also, this person has to have money.
Ah, why?
He's a baseball. What? You need. Listen.
To be a politician, all you have to do is be a politician and then illegally stock trade. You'll have money
Yes,
eventually.
but you need the money first.
You see a little bit of.
No,
Theo's got a good amount of
you
money.
need money. Okay. Tom Brady has money. Jason Kelce has some money.
Yeah, Tom Brady does have a lot of money.
Travis Kelce has Taylor's money. See? Like, that's why it would make a little bit more sense on that front. We're talking about the most presidential athletes right now. Say someone drops out. Wink, wink. Say they drop out. Who should that side nominate?
Bill Belichick. He's too old.
Too old. I mean, not for this election.
Yeah, I was going
Nick
to say.
Saban.
Might be the youngest.
I was about to say Jerry Jones. I feel like Jerry Jones would be perfect.
Affairs, children he's not sure if are his or not. He fits some of the qualities.
There's a little too many skeletons in the closet.
Nick Saban?
Oh yeah, because that disqualifies you. Oh yeah, I forgot. Can't have skeletons.
Nick Saban. I could sign up for Nick Saban's.
I could sign up for Nick Saban. He would tell you the truth or you don't want to hear it.
Tell it how it is.
about-
Yeah.
Pete Carroll. little too energetic.
Yeah. There's like the presidential speech, there's like a demeanor, a calmness.
Too many conspiracies.
Don't know how Middle America would love Pete.
Yeah, Middle America would not like Pete. You're right, and he's got the conspiracy theories of his too. So this is on the table. Also, I want to hear who you think would be the worst athlete president
Or coach.
options. Well, people are texting against CJ Stroud, D'Amico
Too young.
Ryans. Yeah, both of them are probably too young. D'Amico is probably just old enough now.
He definitely qualifies, but he's over 35.
Someone texted in Peyton Manning for president. I don't know.
I feel like you need to have like a reasonably shaped head to be the president.
I feel like you have to win more than lose.
Ooh.
And Manning
Got him.
had
He
a
got 2 Super Bowls.
yeah, but he's got some pretty ugly losses. Never
I mean,
beat,
if you know,
never beat the Florida Gators.
if Eli runs for vice president, is his VP, they've got 4 titles combined.
yeah, but only one Hall of Fame quarterback
You don't know that for sure.
in my Hall of Fame.
I agree, but
Who
Probably
would,
0 in your Hall of Fame.
that's true. Who would be the least presidential candidate? Someone texted in Wheat Straw, drunk Evan Caddis. He would be fun though. Another one, Russell Wilson. I don't know if that's
Oh.
for most or least. Russell Wilson,
most.
honestly, for most, like he does check all the boxes of someone who is completely void of anything inside and does exactly what he thinks everyone wants him to do.
I don't know if he could get to president, but he could definitely be like a mayor or Congress, or like he could definitely win an election just by being so phony.
Oh yeah. The one that I have, it would actually alarm me if this happened, and I think he's still too young for this. If Draymond Green
that was my number
was
one
our
too.
president, we would be all dead. Because Draymond Green, the only thing more dangerous than him in a meeting with a foreign leader kicking that person downstairs
Yeah.
is the fact that Draymond Green hates foreigners and might just launch them all on a whim because Rudy Gobert was not getting booed. He was getting booed on an episode of Inside the NBA. Like he might nuke France entirely because of a little bit of, let's just say, jealousy.
Yes.
That he is less likable than Rudy Gobert.
So
which is
so Draymond was
Not true.
Draymond was there at the top of my
Might be.
list. With that, for some of the same reasoning, Gilbert Arenas, also on my list.
my God.
like
Gilbert
would be
Arenas.
awful.
Gilbert Arenas pulls out a gun as a joke at at a meeting with the
Yeah.
White House press.
And then puts out hits on European players.
Oh boy.
like
Someone texted in Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown might be the only person that could go head to head with President Trump in a debate.
I mean,
Would if someone, whoever's running his Twitter account, is allowed to combat? I mean, neither would know how low to go. That would be fun. I would watch that.
I mean, if you want the world to end and just be like, hey, like we're good here, Antonio Brown for president.
Antonio Brown as president, it's like a 90s movie that like where one man becomes president, and Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown was a wide receiver. Then Vontaze Burfict's shoulder hit him in the skull. And now Antonio Brown's running for president.
He made a wish to something, and now he's president,
AB is VP, rated PG-13.
and he's doing things a little differently.
A lot of people are nominating Meta World Peace and Ron Artest. Pre-2020 Deshaun Watson for most presidential. Post-2020 Deshaun Watson for least presidential.
Okay, text here from the 832. The obvious choice is Aaron Rodgers.
For least or most?
Exactly. Like
That's
I don't
not-
know which category people put him in.
I half these people, I feel like we don't know if they're saying least or most.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe that sort of speaks volumes about our current political system and how none of us feel represented by the people that are running. But hey,
I I would
Yeah,
go.
that's a good point with the hating foreigners. Like some people are like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, Gilbert Arenas talking my
Yeah.
language.
I was thinking the same thing. As you're talking about Dre, but I'm like, well, that might actually get some votes. Just depending on what crowd you're talking to.
Marshawn Lynch would be really funny because I think every world leader would really have zero idea how to read him.
He just started a political podcast.
and it would be really funny to see how uncomfortable those other world leaders would be with him. Because I
That's
think
another very like Commander in Chief starring Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn would it actually would,
Commander in Chief.
that would be a good comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of nervous laughter from the
Yeah.
politicians that he's hanging with.
Awkward handshake.
Yeah.
Where he's going in for a hug.
You don't know. I'm not kidding. He just started a political podcast.
I didn't know that. That's-
California, this was reported today. California Governor Gavin Newsom is launching a podcast with Marshawn Lynch and his agent Doug Hendrickson, politicking.
Even Marshawn Lynch can't make some people likable. But hey.
Politics.
They're gonna try. I wonder how much they're paying Marshawn Lynch to try to get him to like this guy. Skittles for breakfast. That's a good platform to run on for Marshawn Lynch for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ugh. Shaq and Barkley. No, Barkley and Shaq. I think Charles Barkley actually would do pretty well in these debates. I think that Charles Barkley has an amazing ability to remain likable no matter what he says. I would be cool with Charles Barkley representing our country.
I'd be pro Barkley
I wouldn't mind that.
and Shaq. You could do Shaq and Barkley.
Shaq as VP is nice because
Yeah.
it's like, I don't really care what his politics are.
Yeah.
He's more
Yeah.
of the vibes guy.
Yeah.
But like you know, is like if Barkley ever like gets off the deep end, Shaq's kind of got it under control.
Could they do like tandem debates? Because that would be fun. Because you know how it's normally either the two presidential candidates or the two vice presidential candidates. I would like one where it's like a tag team, where they can team up.
Yeah.
And what do you say, Shaq? What-
And if they just said inside the NBA was running for political office, and it was like, hey, between Shaq, Kenny, Charles, Ernie, like you've got like your president, your
Yeah.
chief of staff, your vice president.
Power rank them as the four inside the NBA guys as most presidential.
presidential
Yeah.
at least.
And by the way, we're talking most presidential and least presidential athletes on this fun July 3rd.
I'm gonna go. I'm really concerned about Kenny sometimes the way he gets out of that chair, but I'm gonna go Kenny number 1.
Really?
I'm gonna go Charles number 2.
I feel like Kenny can be talked down to. I don't want my
Yeah.
president to be talked
I
down
feel like
to.
you're height shaming.
No, I don't mean it from that
6'3".
perspective. I mean, Charles Barkley can talk out of his ass at all times, and people generally agree with him, even
it's
when
Shaq.
he's talking out of his ass. Shaq is look.
Shaq's number 4.
Shaq
No,
is.
I think Shaq's 3, Kenny's 4.
Okay.
I would say
I go
Charles
Charles,
one.
Ernie, Shaq, Kenny.
Charles 1, Shaq 2 because Shaq is intimidating. 3, 4 tie is Ernie and Kenny. No
All right.
offense to Ernie and Kenny. This has nothing to do with height or anything like that. This is literally a matter of who always seems like they're right, because that's what you want your leader to be.
Yeah, Charles. I mean, look, he goes out there and he puts on a master class of talking about things that he has no idea what he's talking about for March Madness every single year.
Yeah.
Like,
and I still want to watch his
Yeah.
analysis of March Madness.
of games and players he's never seen.
I feel like Ernie Johnson would win the man. He just seems like a good man. I'm gonna push the button for Ernie
No,
Johnson.
I wouldn't
That's
know
why-
who he is. He'd be a good press secretary.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call. He's the
Yeah.
press secretary. Andrew Luck from the text line, quitter. I don't know. Would he make it through? Would he make it through his term without quitting?
Damn, Rick Hamla.
Sorry. I'm not gonna apologize like that.
No, that was crazy. Listen, it wasn't. It
I know,
wasn't.
they made
made him apologize. I feel bad that they made him apologize. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow would alienate
I'm
too
out.
many people.
I'm out.
I would vote for Tebow.
I would not.
But there. I think that Tebow would alienate a large percentage of the country that's not religious.
I just think he doesn't believe half the things he says.
Hey, how dare you?
Not the religious parts, the other parts.
What parts?
Like when he talks about like all of his rah-rah speeches he gives, I'm just like, okay.
What? They won 2 national titles. And it was a
True.
team of lost souls. Who was the shepherd to guide them?
Hey, that is a good
A
platform.
third of them went to jail.
Yeah, that would be
That's
a good
not even an
platform.
exaggeration. It was a third.
I just imagine like Charles Barkley asking Tim Tebow about Aaron Hernandez.
That's the thing. I don't think he can get dirty enough. I don't think he can.
Yeah, he's too
positive.
Yeah.
Someone texted in Richard Sherman. No, he's too
Hard pass.
temperamental and holds grudges. And also, he's had a couple of rough moments in the last couple of years.
Good point here from VBW on the Twitch. It's a shame Bill Walton isn't around for this.
Bill
'cause that would
Walton.
have been.
Bill Walton would get a lot of likability, but there are some people who would think he's a hippie and wouldn't vote for him.
That's true.
Because of
That's
that.
true.
Yeah, you have to be.
He has to be in the middle of the
Yeah,
road.
you can't be too far on any, like, not just like left or right, just on any spectrum. You cannot be at any extreme. You have to be kind of like we're at the center of the Venn diagram.
Right, and I think that's why, really, if we're being honest, Charles Barkley and The Rock, one of those two, that's really say someone steps out. In the sports world, I think those are the two that are going to give you, at the very least, a sliver of hope, even though you have no idea what they're going to do when they actually take office.
Yeah, Charles would be fun. I would really enjoy a Charles Barkley presidential run. Would you rather lose
Skip
Charles
Bayless.
Barkley? Hard pass.
I don't know. He'd be fun in the debates.
A Stephen A.
Stephen A. I'm a, you know what? I like Stephen A. and I'm a little Stephen A'd out right now.
The
Little
debates
Stephen
would
A. out.
just be.
Yeah, I would lean Stephen A. though over Skip if
Yeah.
I had to choose between like who I want to run for president. Would you be more okay losing Charles Barkley, the NBA analyst, because he's now the president, or losing The Rock, the movie star,
Oh,
and
The
Rock.
wrestler?
Yeah, who
Rock,
Who
I'm-
cares about the
Yeah,
movie
I
stuff?
haven't watched any of those movies in a while.
I mean, he's coming back to the Fast franchise.
Until he does it, then we'll talk.
I want my president to be in that movie.
I don't need Jumanji 3. Yeah, also you can just do both. I don't need Jumanji 3, all right, dude?
Yeah.
Give me Fast X.
Bill O'Brien, and I think that's
Oh, yeah.
that's a sign that we need to change the.
D'Amico Ryan.
Okay.
We talked about D'Amico already.
Bill O'Brien, the world is ending. He's having a bad day. He's pushing the nuke button. Teapot Bill.
But imagine the Q&A or whatever, the press conference and that, where
Those
going
are
back and forth with the with the White House.
Doesn't matter, Brian. America won, Brian.
the tapes.
Back-to-back World War champs.
The tapes that
Back
would
to
be
back to back.
released from the White House 60 years later
Oh,
would be all time.
Like he's Nixon.
Yeah, he's just getting mad about something as small as like the coffee machine or something like that.
hey Bill. Why'd you send that nuke overseas? Coffee pot was broken.
Yeah, there's a reason that there's usually two people that are needed to press the buttons and such. Anyway, it's Galan and George. We're having some fun. It's the 3rd
Him
of
and
July.
Easterby.
Jack Easterby, good God.
Absolute worst.
He would sell us to China in a heartbeat because he would be convinced that he could convert that country back to religion.